All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's movie, the tagline goes like this. Life is one long, insane trip. Some people just have better directions. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, it's good, but I think the tagline for this movie should have been something that Grandma Death whispers into our protagonist, and
Yeah.
the line is, "Every living creature on Earth dies alone." This is going to be a sad one.
All right, people, hold on to your seat because MovieByte starts right now. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for anybody that's watching us right now or will be watching us later in the week. I am your host, Ruben. With me, the Russian. This is MovieByte, and today we're going to be talking about
the guilty pleasure of, I believe, mine. This is Donnie Darko.
I think this was cult classic. You picked this one under the cult classic category.
What did I say?
You said guilty pleasure.
Oh, I'm already messing up. Guilty pleasure, cult classic. Yes, cult classic. Jesus Christ.
Cult classic, Donnie Darko, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's
But before we begin, how you doing today, bro? I meant to ask you, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited. I think this movie is. It has so many.
Hey, what's up, Miles?
It has so many different theories. It sparked like the conversation all over the internet. It came at the time where. See, I'm already talking about the movie. You asked me how I'm doing. I'm doing good.
I asked you how you're doing. Let's not start. I know you're excited. You picked this movie.
Right.
A lot of people that follow us have been requesting that we do this movie, and we granted you this wish. And wow,
Exactly. Yes.
what a movie this is! And we're very excited to talk about it.
Dude,
so let's start. Let's start with with Donnie Darko.
Spoilers. Everybody who have not seen the movie, it's been out for 20 years. Please go watch it. Come back to watch our podcast, watch how we digest this. I'm not going to be afraid to say the word masterpiece. This is fantastic movie. I don't care what haters say. I don't care what anybody else says. I think it works. I think it's brilliant. And we're going to try to explain why, or we're gonna give our perspective why you think that's such a case. But I understand the haters. I understand if you watch it once and you kind of like, it's a weird pace. It's not like, you don't know what it is. It's not sci-fi. It's not love. It's not comedy. It's not horror.
It's just weird, but it's a good weird
mix. Yes, yeah. It's a good mix if you give it a chance.
All right. So before we go more into details of this movie, let's talk about a little bit of how this movie got released, the spread of it. So this movie was released. It actually premiered in Sundance Film Festival in January of 2001. Really? It raved with great reviews and standing ovation during Sundance. And it had a lot of promise. It was later released in a limited release. Only 58 theaters were actually showing this movie on October 26, 2001. I believe it was supposed to be released in September, but because of the 9/11 attacks, it got pushed. And given the premise of the movie,
that's right.
Okay, spoilers. There's a jet engine involved in the movie. They had to push the release, and a lot of theaters backed out on it. Because obviously it's a big part of the movie. They couldn't cut it out because it's an essential piece of the movie. So that affected the box office numbers for this movie. This movie opened up in October 26 to $110,000. Okay, barely scratched its budget. They didn't even come close. It opened up against K-Pax with Kevin Spacey, 13 Ghosts, the horror/comedy by Robert Zemeckis, and during that time also Training Day was dominating the box office that year and that month as well. So yeah, it struggled. But this movie became what it is today because of DVD rentals and DVD sales.
And the cult following.
Yep.
That's why we're talking about it.
So cult following was made this movie great. It's the same reason why like movies like The Crow and like other movies, for example, like The Punisher with Thomas Jane, have a cult following because
Or like Equilibrium.
Equilibrium, exactly, because they're movies that didn't do that well in theaters, but DVD rentals and DVD sales prompted that movie to spark a word of mouth. So that's what happened with Donnie Darko. So let's start talking about the director of Donnie Darko, Mr. Richard Kelly.
To me, this is one and done. I'm gonna be that guy who's gonna say like this was his baby. He wrote it. He directed it. It worked, and I don't think anything else he's done created even close like the success of what this movie did.
I believe he has 3 movies under his belt.
I only seen like the box with.
So The Box was the last one. He attempted to follow up Donnie Darko with Southland Tales, and that movie ended up being a complete critic and box office failure.
Yeah.
You know a funny thing about Richard Kelly. So, you obviously have seen the show Entourage, right? One of my favorite shows. The character of Billy Walsh, right? Whenever he makes Queens Boulevard in season 1 of Entourage, that's a play on Richard Kelly making Donnie Darko, right? Because it premieres in Sundance, it's a total hit.
Yeah.
And what does Billy Walsh follow up his career in Entourage with the movie Medellin, the Pablo Escobar story?
Yeah.
Richard Kelly followed up with Southland Tale. Both movies in Entourage and in real life, Richard Kelly ended up being box office failure, and it put a smidge on his. Huh?
So are they both about Pablo Escobar? Or
No. But I'm saying like the fact that this independent director, that this real life independent director, which is Richard Kelly, and then the fictional character of Billy Walsh, they both follow up a successful movie, critic reviewed movie, with a trash movie. And Doug Ellen, who created Entourage, wrote that with that similarity. He wanted to point out the similarity of Hollywood, how independent directors think that they have it with just one movie, and they attempt to do a big budget movie, and it fails. And that's what happened with Southland Tales with Richard Kelly. It was a big budget movie, and it failed. That's why he's pretty much hasn't done much anything afterward. He has written movies. He actually ended up writing Domino for Tony Scott and Keira Knightley.
Domino was.
I mean, I didn't say it's a great movie, but he wrote it.
All right, so back to the because we're gonna talk about this probably more than an hour if we could. But we try to keep it.
So what you got about Richard Kelly? What do you think about Richard Kelly?
I think this movie is great. I think he did a great job. There's a lot of improv. There's a lot of stuff that is not typically done by directors. There's a lot of fast pace, like the action moves forward in a speed up version, or it slows down for no reason at all. Like there's a music playing, like the song would play for like 45 seconds to a minute, and we kind of like don't have any dialogue, which is usually not done in movies that much, and he does it like at least like twice in this one. So I mean, you can see it's a brand new guy. He does not have his style. He does not have like his own rhythm. He does what he wanted to do, and it turned out to be great. Like I don't have anything bad to say about the directing. I have a lot of bad things to say about cinematography and editing, and some of the scenes are just outright. I did not watch the director's cut this time, so I'm only going to be like referring to the theatrical version.
Yeah, I didn't get the director's cut either.
But yeah, like it works. It asks a lot of questions and leaves you with the impression you're either going to be like, fuck this movie, I ain't gonna ask or answer any questions. Or you're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't get it, but here what I think it happened, and then you go and rewatch it and you get like something totally different. And that's I think like this focus of this podcast is gonna be like we're trying to give you a more the most bullets we can give you about what the story represents, what it's about, and like explaining, really digesting what the plot was about, and what does the characters represent. So, what do you think?
Perfect. I
What's your
mean, I agree with you. I mean, Richard Kelly, first time director. It's not a big budget movie. Drew Barrymore is an executive producer of this movie. She gave most of the money to make this movie and to finance it.
right?
Under the condition that she played the character that she plays in the movie, which is a English teacher.
Yeah, who delivers one of the best lines of the movie.
Yep, and she's the one. And there's a lot of Easter eggs in her scenes, and we'll go into that later. That she's kind of like Donnie Darko's guide in a sense, right? So first time director, like you said, did a great job. It's a movie that you can watch every once in a while and come up with a different explanation of what you saw. For the first time viewer, like for example, my wife, she saw it for the first time yesterday. She was confused. She saw the ending and she was like, "Wait, what happened?" Like
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. But she throughout the movie she was intrigued. She was curious of what this character Donnie Darko is and what he's doing.
right.
And at the end, though, she was confused. And I think that was that Richard Kelly's intention all along is to for you to get involved with these characters, and then at the end you'll be like this big mindfuck. You're like, what the hell did I just watch? It's like, and it forces you to at some point I need to rewatch this to see what's again to see if I understood what I saw, right?
Right.
So yeah, absolutely, I agree. Great job from Mr. Richard Kelly. Unfortunately, this is his one and done because everything else that he's done so far doesn't cut it. So
And that's like another thing I want to add to the director part, or like the writer director part, is that I think he was not aware of how successful it's going to become. I don't think any directors or writers can do that about their own work, but he laid out the foundation for all of us to start speculating, start guessing what was the intentions, for us to dig our claws into it.
yeah,
And he's like, and for any director, that's the best. For any artist, that's the best possible outcome. Is that now their work becomes our obsession, our I want to interpret it the way I want to interpret, and that's where he succeeded. Like nothing else he tried to do had anything as interesting as cult following or as obsessive as this movie. And that's what I'm saying. Like he succeeded as a director, but there's a lot of holes, plot holes. There's a lot of misleads in the direction. So
yeah.
that's my kind of like the other side of the story. That's why I understand a lot of people who dislike this work of art. But
Perfect. So let's talk about the acting. Obviously, Jake Gyllenhaal, breakout role for him. His sister is in this movie as well, Maggie Gyllenhaal, which a lot of us know from movies like Secretary and The Dark Knight, where she played Rachel.
Nobody watched Secretary. What are you talking
I'm talking about the culture ones like me and you.
Yeah, well,
that
we
watch the
Secretary.
artsy films. No,
Right.
not.
We watch Secretary for different reasons. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. Anyway, so Dark Knight, I think that's her main role as a
most notable role. Yeah,
actress that everybody will know who she is.
there she is, Maggie Gyllenhaal, right there. So she's Jake Gyllenhaal's sister. They are related. So for those who are wondering,
Yep, they are.
we got other actors in this movie, big actors. Drew Barrymore's in it. Patrick Swayze.
Is in it.
Jena Malone, who pretty much went on to do movies like Sucker Punch, and wasn't she? No, she was not in Almost Famous. I'm confusing her with.
No, she was not in that one, but she did Sucker Punch.
Yeah, she did. She did Sucker Punch.
Fantastic movie. I think what's the girl who plays Kitty? Like she did a fantastic job.
Yes. She's a comedian. She's been in a lot of comedies also.
Yeah, like she delivers like that the Karen persona before Karen was even like the pronoun.
Yeah.
So he did, and she has like probably like two of my most favorite scenes. One of them she is in it. Another actor.
There she is.
Yeah, there we go. Another actor who like surprised, well, not surprised me, but who I like got confused for a second is the Gary Lundy as Sean Smith. It's the one of the guys who like come to the party and they're at the scene when they doing like the robbing of the house of the grandma death, and when the Gretchen gets hit by the car. It's
Yeah,
who looks like Ryan Reynolds. Like I looked at him, I was like, "Fucking Ryan Reynolds in this movie,"
yeah.
and then I
Well,
realized it's not him.
I was laughing because Seth Rogen's in this movie.
Bro, Seth Rogen's delivers some of the cringiest fucking lines in this movie.
I mean, this is his first. I think this is his first role, and like
Bro.
Seth Rogen's in
And you look
fucking
at him,
Donnie
you're like,
Darko.
yeah, you did not change as an actor, as a person. Like you as trash as you were back then. Like, but no disrespect, Seth. Just go back smoking pot and whatever, making sausage parties.
Freaks and geeks, baby. Freaks and geeks.
Yeah, but he just was in it. He wasn't participating. All right, back to the acting.
Yeah.
I think majority of the people did a good job. With the script they were given, it's like, hey, let me just go all out. And I think on these independent movies, on these small budget movies, actors feel more like secured into like bringing out their inner selves. Like they're not there to like win the fucking Oscars. They are there just to kind of like have fun with the profession. And it seems like it shows. Like you get outstanding performances. You get something that obviously not going to win you an Academy Award, but it's going to win you hearts of thousands or millions of followers of the movie. And that's like his parents do a great job. Donnie Darko, played by Jake, is spot on. Frank as the weird fucking human size bunny rabbit / scary whatever Halloween costume is outstanding. Maggie is on par with everybody else, so like check mark. Like directing, check mark. Acting, check mark. Nothing you can take away from that movie when it comes to the acting.
I agree. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal just steals. Like he owns the character of Donnie Darko. Like he portrays.
You love him. You hate him.
Yeah.
You love him. And
I mean, there's just so like he delivers. I mean, like you said, I mean, the script has flaws, right? But he delivers his scenes and lines like you believe in him. Like whatever this guy is doing or trying to do, like you're believing him. Like especially that scene where he calls out Patrick Swayze's character.
Oh
yeah. And he calls him like the Antichrist.
Antichrist, like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a great scene. And then the Smurfette scene when they're discussing the Smurf and the Smurfettes.
That's the fucking Tarantino script. Like there are a few lines in this movie where you like, I see where he stole this. Like I see where he took the idea from, and he's like, he probably was like watching Reservoir Dogs, when they discussed the Like a Virgin song, and he's like, you know what? I can do the same thing with the Smurfs, and he kind of like flips it, and it's there. You don't know why, but for some reason, it's like you like as a viewer, you're like, fuck it, it works. Like I don't really care. Like this is what something that 3 teenage boys shooting the BB gun would talk about. Oh,
that's me jumping shit over here.
Yeah, this whole podcast is like being.
That's the Donnie Darko effect.
Yeah, we're gonna go back in time, and this shit never gonna happen. Like, we're gonna just like stop this from happening.
All right, so we talked a little bit about the screenplay. Obviously, Richard Kelly wrote it. Do you have any like something to say about the screenplay, like imperfections?
Dude. Like, where do I start? Like. Let's talk about something good before we start like fighting the plot holes like it's a fucking Swiss cheese.
Let's go for it.
Well, let's just diss a few things that cinematography in this one is trash. Like the way it's been shot. Like I'm not trying to like badmouth anybody, but it's like I like the kid with its own camera probably could have done like better job. So like there's no scenes where you're like, oh my god, that shot is fucking spectacular. It's like you watching somebody's home video. Like it's pretty bad. Like even the nature scenes, they feel stale. They feel out of place. They don't add anything to the storyline. Like my problem with this cinematography style, I mean, if you even can call it, I don't even know who did this. I didn't even look it up. But,
let me see if I can find it while you.
But I think that's another thing which kind of like throws people off, that you're not watching a beautifully shot movie.
Yeah.
This movie is like somebody just ran around with a camera and shot these scenes while actors were acting out at their best, following the really good, technically on paper script. Um, but it looks pretty bad. Like that's one thing you have to be prepared when watching this movie. That it's not going to be eye candy. It's not going to be the Marvel universe. It's not going to be the
So
fucking Matrix. It's
the cinematographer for this movie, his name is Steven Poster.
what else did he do?
He's done documentaries.
Okay, there you go. Like that fucking.
I'm
As a
trying to
documentary.
find.
Anything else he done? Before
He
that?
was a director of photography for one episode for the very short-lived Netflix show called Hemlock Grove.
I mean, the Netflix shows get fucking budgets.
He was the director of photography for Cats and Dogs: The Revenge of Kitty Galore.
All right. It's enough. You know, that's fucking.
And then
enough shade for
obviously
the
he
guy.
worked with Richard Kelly in The Box and Southland Tales,
Yeah, sure.
and Daddy Daycare and Stuart Little too. Rocket Man.
All right. Anyway, like the movie looks fucking. It's trash. It's like
Rocky Five.
Rocky Five. I don't even know which Russian did he fight in that one.
No, he didn't fight. The Rocky Five ends in a street fight.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never seen that one. The music
Alright.
choice is also to me. Besides the Mad World at the end, I don't.
Such a beautiful song.
I know, and that's why it's like everything they've done before with sounds are like just justified with one song and one montage of just short kind of follow ups with the people who are back
Yeah.
into like the present tangent. No, the present universe. There's like two different universes apparently to, according to the book of the philosophy of time.
The philosophy of time travel.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like there's a song which does not like contribute to the in the beginning. The movie starts and then we play it for like a minute and 30 seconds. It's fucking atrocious song. And then there's the one with the like montage which I mentioned, like fast paced forward and then
Yeah.
slow down. Does not introduce. It shows characters, does not introduce them. It's kind of like gives you an idea what they're all about, but there's no.
Yeah,
dialogue, there's
you're
no-
referring to the other Tears for Fear song in the
I
middle of
guess.
the movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
like-
I think that's one you're referring to.
And then the whole the sound, the music that they use without, I mean, obviously words, it just does not work for me. Like to the extent it's appropriate for the scenes, but it had to be a better option. I don't know why they chose the soundtrack that way, the way they chose. So that's my kind of like, if we talk about cinematography and if we talk about the choice of music, and then the editing is pretty horrendous too. I mean, it gives you a sense of like making sense of what happened, but it's still pretty poorly designed execution on the editing part too. Like you could have cut. I didn't watch the director's cut, but you could have cut few of the scenes at least, and you could have shortened up the others. There's not a lot unnecessary scenes, but there are quite a lot for the movie, which only lasts like hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So that is my take on the cinematography, editing, and the score. So, what about you? What you?
I mean, I didn't really pay much attention to the cinematography.
I mean,
I mean, I agree with you. It looks like a first time director of photography shooting this movie, right? No, there are scenes that you can tell the lighting is off. Shaky cameras, it gives you that documentary type feel.
unless they are going for it, yeah. Like,
But I don't think they were. That's the
No,
problem.
I don't
Yeah,
think they
absolutely
were.
not. Like, I mean, this movie, it is what it is. It's a psychological / science thriller in a sense, right? Like, there's nothing close to like a documentary of this.
well, they trying to sell us like a redemption story type of thing, like
Yeah.
like a hero, and like, yeah. So I mean, I guess let's go into like the script.
Yeah, so let's go into the plot. Like,
Into the
tell
plot.
tell the viewers, like, what is Donnie Darko about?
Only if I fucking knew, I would have told you what Donnie Darko is about. But it speculates. So Um, the quick, well, I don't know how quick you can review I mean, you can retell the movie, but
So
it's
we
pretty
can
much
go for what like IMDb shows.
yeah. So anyway, like, all right. So Donnie Darko is a story about the guy who is a complete dick. Like in the first 5 minutes, it sets up as him being total asshole. Like he's rude to his sister. He calls her names. Like his opening line is the answer to when they argue about like the kids and when somebody's gonna give birth to the kids. So the sister, one of
Yeah,
older Maggie says like yeah, I'm gonna wait till I pop one out till I'm 30. And the little girl who's like, I don't know what, she's 10 or something, and she's like, when can I squeeze one out? Or when I can no when can I pop one out? And his
yeah.
response is like, when you can squeeze one out when you're in 8th grade or some shit like that. And you're like, what the, like, what's wrong with you, dude? Like, you don't say that to your younger sister. Like, nobody does. So there, that's the guy. That's our protagonist. Then he calls his mom a bitch, and this is when he dies. Like, that's the end of the story. Like, at that moment, he fucking dies. Um, yeah, the jet engine crashes him. He's in his bed, and he's dead. That's his story. That's it. Unfortunately, the cameras keep rolling, and we get introduced to this new character in the movie. His name is Frank. Frank is wearing the costume of the huge bunny rabbit. He's supposed to be our guide for our protagonist, and he tells our protagonist that the world as we know it, well, the world gonna end. He just says the world gonna end in 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, and 12 seconds. So that's our countdown. We don't know what the fuck was gonna happen, but we got this bunny rabbit suit guy telling us that the world gonna end, and I guess our protagonist is gonna stop it from happening. So the following, what about 70 minutes, 80 minutes?
Yeah.
We following Donnie Darko as he makes his choices, but he really not really making his choices. He kind of just following what either the rabbit is telling him or what his girlfriend is telling him, what his parents are telling him not to do, and he still does it. What his teachers kind of telling him what to do. And now we have to bring the book. So the book is that's the philosophy of time travel, where we are explained that there's two universes according to this story. There's a tangent universe, and then there's a I believe present universe,
A
primal present,
living, yeah, primary universe is what they call
primary universe, and then there's a tangent
it.
universe.
Tangent. Yep.
So the tangent universe is something that only happens for like few weeks, and it ends. And if that event, when that universe ends, the artifact is not brought back, then the primary universe ends too. All right, yeah, I know it's all confusing, but that's how they try to explain this bullshit. All right. So in the movie that we're watching, the tangent universe starts when the Frank's character appears. This is like the October 2nd,
October 2nd at midnight.
1988, right?
Yep.
And so the 28 days later, or 24, what is it, 28?
28 days later.
Yeah, so that's October 30th. That's Halloween, right?
No, October 31st is Halloween.
All right, so that's when this universe is gonna end, and if our protagonist does not bring the artifact back with him, then we're all doomed. So that universe is dead. The primary universe is gonna die too. And this is kind of the story about this whole thing, where our protagonist Donnie Darko needs to go throughout life choices and bring back the artifact. From my understanding, the artifact is the fucking jet engine.
Yeah, it is.
Our protagonist is given powers. He has extra strength, and that's shown to us when he puts he puts the freaking axe into like the bronze statue's
The
head.
mascot. Yeah, the school.
Yeah. He also can, and in a book it's also explained like he has telekinesis. That's how he rips that jet engine you just showed away from the plane and puts it through the wormhole. He also sees all the desires of the living creatures, which is in a movie described as the God's plan. It's like
Hmm.
the choice that you made. It's already like guides you through the like your decision, and then the path which follows it is kind of like your path. It's like the same thing that in the Matrix that the not the, keep forgetting the girl who was making prophecies, the Oracle. So the
Hmm.
Oracle in Matrix tells Neo like, you already made a decision. Now you have to understand why you made it. So in here, that decision is kind of like a flown life force or some bullshit like that. A lot of weird stuff in this movie. A lot of shit which like you don't get an explanation for on the first go, and you like watching there going like, what the fuck am I watching? How many drugs does these motherfuckers took to write this shit? But then you start like putting places and things together, and you start to understand the bigger picture of it, and you start to kind of like come down to, uh, in my opinion, there's the four main philosophies behind this, or four main theories. You can speculate about all of them on your own, but when it comes down to Donnie Darko, there's four main philosophies, four main theories. Number one, that Donnie Darko is unreliable narrator, just like a Joker,
The Joker.
because because he has schizophrenia. That's explained to us through the movie. He takes medicine, and this whole fucking scene, this whole can be just him telling us about how crazy he is.
I
That he
thought the
may,
pills were placebos.
it's in that's explained in the director's cut, because when
Mm.
this version came out and that he may be schizophrenic, Richard Kelly's like, no, 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 that has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Let me go back and give this explanation. So, number one, schizophrenic, delusional, creates all of this shit in his head. Number two, Donnie Darko is the Jesus-like figure who needs to sacrifice himself in order for this world to live. Therefore, getting that tangent, tangent universe to end, and you know, primary universe keeps going. Same type of thing that Jesus died for our sins, that we can escape the wrath of God, and so the Jesus story where he goes on the cross, that's the tangent universe, and he sacrificed himself, and whatever the artifact you can get out of that story,
Yeah.
that's transparent here as well. So Donnie Darko is Jesus, and obviously we already discussed that Jim Cunningham is an
Jim
antichrist.
Cunningham is the Antichrist. So yeah, that's one of the
Antichrist.
notes I
So
made of he's the resemblance of evil slash Satan.
right. So
Yeah.
there we go. Like, even though we go back to beginning where he's still alive, and I guess like that's the point, that the Antichrist never leaves us. He's always here trying to manipulate us into doing bad things. The third theory is that Donnie Darko is a superhero, which kind of aligns with everything I already said. Like, I mean, Jesus superhero, close to the same things in my book. Still superpowers, still bringing people from back from the dead, walking on water. In this case, he's like he can manipulate time and space, and he can move objects with his mind.
Yeah.
He's super powerful, and he uses those superpowers to end again the tangent universe, and come back to original spot where he dies, aka Iron Man. Putting on the glove and doing the snap, and sacrificing himself. Like, it's funny how they went that route. Like, after we've seen this fucking so many times, but yet it's Marvel. It
Yeah.
fucking works. So now, this is my favorite theory, and this is I mean, it's not a new one. I'm sure that people thought about this one before. Um, so all of this is manipulation of Frank himself. So Frank discovers the time travel. Frank goes back in time and tells. So here we split. And this theory has two different ways it's gonna go. It's one
Mm-hmm.
theory, but two different ways. So Frank goes back to October 2nd, to the room 6 hours prior the crash of the jet engine. He
Yeah.
goes there, and he either tells him how it happens, or he shows him how it happens. So if he tells him, we're just watching what he told that's gonna happen to Donnie. and how this is going to play out, right? And or second part, he using again time traveling and appearing in different spots
Yeah.
in a bunny rabbit costume, guiding Donnie Darko to make choices that he made, and therefore sacrificing himself that the Frank can live. So this is the close paradox. This is something that Rick and Morty would have done. But if you think about it, it makes perfect sense, and it eliminates all the plot holes. And another thing that I think, if that would be in the case, that Grandma Death is actually Frank's grandma.
Okay.
So, I mean, Frank is playing the deaf in here, so Grandma Death, kind of correlation of words. But like if you think about it, like Frank is a fucking dickhead. Like he's an asshole. Like when he runs over Gretchen, you can hear him trying to start the car. He's not getting right out of the. We know about real Frank very little, right? And the only thing we know that after he hit Gretchen, he tried to run away. You can hear in the background car trying to start over and over. He does not get right away out of the car. He tries to fucking leave.
Yeah, the only thing we know about Frank at that point, like the real Frank, is that he is Donnie Darko's older sister's boyfriend.
Boyfriend, right?
And he went on a beer run with his buddy, and that's all we know about Frank. And then and then obviously in the movie we see when he gets out of the car, they reveal his face. And it's the same face of when Frank appeared to Donnie Darko in the theater, and he took his mask off, and he has his eyes shut, right? So it's like you said, it's all connecting. What happens in that scene is that Donnie Darko pretty much grabs the gun that Frank the Bunny led him to at some point at his father's closet, and he uses that gun to
life force,
and uses that gun to shoot the real Frank in the eye, and that's how that injury comes from that Frank the Bunny as a revenge because Gretchen got ran over. Like she got literally destroyed with that car.
So in that storyline, Frank dies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only way that Frank can live, if Donnie Darko returns to the past.
To the past, and he dies, or the jet engine falls on him.
The jet engine falls on him.
And everybody involved with Donnie Darko wakes up like from a bad dream.
Right.
And that's where the whole Mad World song comes, which is perfect.
Sure. But in a simplistic explanation of the plot, just think about it. Frank gets the book from his grandma. Let's just put it out there. He creates the time machine. All right. And he needs to close that loop because it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs to go back in time, and he needs that alternative, like what we've seen from Loki show.
Yeah,
it's always branching out. So he needs to close that branch out, and the only way he can close it is by convincing Donnie Darko that he is A, Jesus figure, B, that he is superhero, or just C, to show him like if you live that way, you're not only gonna lose the person you loved, your mom and your little sister gonna die like as well. So he kind of like pushes him through, and then, again, that's explained in the book where the living companions or whatever the fuck they called, living and the dead, the ones who kind of push the main protagonist to the choice that he needs to make at the end by bringing the artifact. I mean, I like all of that bullshit. Like I love it. It's all that mythology and all that creative nonsense. I'm all for it. But to me, this, when I watch a movie, I have to come up with an explanation that suits me. And to me, Frank being a dick as he is, like that's the most plausible plan that he could have come up with. That in order for him to live, he created the time machine, but in order for that universe exist, he needs to go back and close that loophole.
Makes sense. It's some 12 monkey shit, but it makes sense.
Like if you come to this channel and you want to watch some craziness, like fuck it, I'm gonna bring you the craziness. I'm gonna give you all the theories that maybe not everybody fought through, but yeah, in some sick twisted way that Frank just wanted to give Donnie a happy ending, because all we know from the first 5 minutes of Donnie's existence, he's a miserable prick as well.
Yeah.
He's a total cunt, and he dies like that. If you watch the movie, you understand that he dies 5 minutes into the story,
Yeah.
and he
And by
dies.
him dying, all these people that were involved move on with their lives, and they're not affected by him.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the fact does not change that he's a miserable prick when he dies. He calls his mom a bitch. That's his last words. All that following bullshit is the story told to us either A, by what I just described, schizophrenic, B, by Frank just manipulating the whole shit, C, never happening because he's already dead, right? So I mean, that's the beauty of the story. That's the beauty of the loopholes. That's something that everybody gonna come back and rewatch it and try to like pick up what the fuck did I see, because I mean, we all smart individuals. We all grasp some ideas, but if we do not connect dots, it makes us angry. So we either just say fuck them dots. I ain't connecting shit. This was garbage. This was piece of shit. That's why you go on internet, and it's the answers are all divided. It's the probably most divisive movie ever. It's either all the 1 out of 10s where people say this is trash, this is piece of shit, don't waste your time, or it's everybody praising it like it's a tense, like creme de la creme. And that's what's funny to me. Like, somebody could have wrote the shit like this. They filmed it, they threw it out there, and it became viral sensation. It's honestly, it's an hour and a half viral video. Like, there's like, honestly, there's you don't gain nothing out of watching that movie. Like, you can say it's a happy ending, but is it really? Like,
I mean, it's not.
like the main guy dies a dick. Like, he maybe saved the world, but did he? Like, do we really know that for a fact? They tried to make us to believe, and when we didn't believe, they created all this fucking book with tangible universes and all that shit.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to convince themselves that what he did was heroic, but we still don't buy it. So to me, all of this was like Frank created time machine, came back to save his ass. Done. Killed Donnie. Donnie's not a superhero. He's just another fucking victim of the manipulations of Frank.
Kill one, save others.
Yeah,
it's like the tagline from the movie show, the TV show Heroes: Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah, I guess. But if you no, my like in my scenario, he did not care about anything else except saving his own life. Like, he did not care about any other people. The only thing that he cared about is going back there and convincing Donnie not to kill him, or killing him and then returning back and never doing that at all. You see, I'm even confused when I fucking explain my theory. But fuck you all. I understand this. I understand my own theory. All right. If you don't, just go watch the movie and create your own. Yeah. So let's just a few things that I want to talk to you about. Like, what's your favorite scene? What's your least favorite scene? Because yeah, there's a lot of fucking scenes, which can go both ways depending. Who
I mean, my one of my favorite scenes is when he explains to Kitty, who is the gym teacher, when she's practicing this exercise, because clearly she's a fanatic of Jim Cunningham, and she has this fear and love, right?
And that's it.
And she's saying, like, those are the only two emotions that
They
mankind, right?
Of course.
And I really enjoy that scene when he's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
Like, how can we just analyze somebody based on fear and love? Like, there is so much more, like, to life. There,
Factors.
Yeah.
Besides that shit.
And I just love, like, that dialogue. I just find it very well written from the point of, like, Richard Kelly's pen.
But I have a quick question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't in a world today, like, that's what media tries to do? Like, you have one side or another, and that's, you either fear or you love.
You either fear or you love, right?
Like, like, to make the, like, life simpler. And I think a lot of people nowadays are like, oh, fuck it, yeah, Like fear, love. That's it. Like check marks. Like or dislike. You see, it's the same fucking thing. Like or dislike. What kind of bullshit? Who created this fucking YouTube? Like I think likes and dislikes that was Facebook fucking thing. What do you mean?
Probably, yeah. Just
Like
Mark Zuckerberg.
up or down? Like no, you can have different emotion about this video. At some point you can like it. At some point you can hate it. But you're gonna have a different emotion. You can't be like just like, oh fuck, I love it, or fuck, I hate it. Yeah, let us get us some hate. Like if you're still watching or if you're not, just give us the dislike. I want to have the most dislikes on this video over the entire YouTube. Let's beat that record, people.
What's your favorite scene in the movie?
Yeah, nice, nice travel. I think my favorite scene in a movie, like I have two. Like, one is when the kitty and bros, when Karen and non Karen are talking to each other about Kitty trying to give Rose the privilege of being chaperone for the kids.
Oh yeah,
Because she needs to go and defend
Jim Cunningham,
from allegedly being accused of being a fucking
pedophile.
pedophile.
Oh, they found child porn on his basement.
Right, and to me, it's like it's a hilarious interpretation of the people who are so blindly faithful to an idea that they will abandon everything else that comes close to their, importance. Like we know Kitty she cares about her kids. She cares about their dance routine and their dance group, but she is willing to give that up in order to go and defend this fucker. And that's to me, it's like so groundbreaking. Like the scene is filmed. Finally, I mean, the camera does not move. You just have to go one way or another. But the acting there is just like soul crushing. Like
She sells it like it's a privilege
Yes.
to be a chaperone. Yeah.
Well, she sells that's a privilege, and she also sells herself as like, I'm gonna go defend him because I believe in him.
Yeah.
And that straightforward blind devotion to me is like, there are people like that, and they do this on a daily basis. And
I mean, it's fanatics, it's fanaticism, and
Yes.
that's one big topic in this entire movie. Is the theme of being a fanatic because you believe something from
Yes.
some random guy.
Exactly, and to me that scene is just a fucking it's just pure soul crushing, uh, movie type of stealing scene where you also understand that that's the catalyst which propels the story into orbit how it ends. Because if she did not go on that plane, then maybe our Donnie Darko character did not need it to,
Take the jet engine through the
take
wormhole.
the jet, because to him that's the last like
Mm-hmm.
drawing. That's the what's that thing that straw which broke the camel's back? That's the saying. No?
I guess, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
There is somebody can fucking vouch for me. There is the thing.
I know what you're trying to say. I
The
just
straw which
yeah.
broke the camel's back. Like they put a lot of shit on the camel's back, and then
Okay.
the last straw, and then he's dead.
Yeah, okay, I believe you.
I mean, maybe in fucking Puerto Rico you don't have any fucking good sayings. In Russia we got plenty. Anyway, so to me that scene is just fucking. It's
It is.
It's everything.
It's a huge turning point in that
Yes.
that scene. Yeah.
All right, least favorite.
Hmm. I honestly gotta go with that scene where they're like in the field and they talking
The Smurfs.
about the Smurfs.
Fuck you! Don't
Yeah.
take the Smurfs away from this.
That's a useless scene.
I'll change your mind in about 25 seconds.
All right.
Well, I mean, I can change it right now.
I mean, I already said what I was gonna say. That's
You
my
don't-
least favorite scene.
That's
so.
it. So why you don't like that scene?
I just find it like it doesn't need to do anything with the movie.
All right. How about the fucking Sparkles motion dance routine?
Okay, what about it?
Exactly? Why the fuck it's there?
It's showing you how important it is for Kitty.
To go and defend the fucking pedophile. You see?
There you go.
There
See,
you go. Like,
she believes he didn't do anything wrong.
you know, and Netflix watched that scene and they're like, "Hey,
Let's
Cuties."
buy this movie.
No, no, no. You know that fucking whatever TV series that created Cuties?
Cuties, yeah,
they, like, fucking throw the money at it.
yeah.
Another thing that they see in the scene where they ride the bikes when they go to Grandma Dev's house on the 4 bikes.
Yeah.
Also, Netflix watch that and be like, Stranger Things, fucking let's steal that shit too.
Hey, don't fuck around with Stranger Things.
Fuck you and you.
Okay, go choke on the Mandalorian.
I mean, I hate Mandalorian now.
I know you do.
You can always bring your
Even though I
favorite.
proved to you that it was Mark Hamill in the in the episode.
What do you mean prove to me? You didn't prove shit. It was
I sent you a photo when I saw the documentary on the behind the scenes. Because to this day you didn't believe it was Mark Hamill.
I still don't believe it.
Okay.
It's all fake news. All right, another scene which bothers me, or
Fucking Gunn Robinson.
Nobody's watching us anymore, so nobody's gonna get that joke. But
actually, we got viewers still. They're still with us. They're still listening to you. You got them. You got them with this time traveling thing.
Fake fucking views. All right, so how about this scene, okay? And correct me if I'm wrong, but Gretchen comes back. She comes to the Halloween party, right? And she's upset. She's like she's on the brink of tears.
Yeah.
Her mom is gone missing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we learn the backstory that her mom got stabbed by her dad 4 times.
Yeah.
And the dad is on the run. So she's like, maybe he has to do something with it, but like my mom is missing. Okay.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, in the real time, or like 1 minute later in the movie time, she's having sex with our protagonist. She's fucking having sex with Donnie Darko a minute fucking later.
She succumbed to temptation.
Yeah, but like your mom is missing. Your dad stabbed her 4 times before. Like, yeah, the one thing I want to do now is to fucking have my vagina penetrated. Like,
Oh God.
this is rated R. Like, fucking whoever is still here has to be a grown ass adult, and their life has to be very boring that they still watching this shit.
Yeah, you don't need to describe the act. Everybody knows the act.
Everybody knows
You
the act.
fucking
But
idiot.
like, in order for me to
Move on. Let's go. Keep going with your point. Come on.
My point is, like, that scene should not be in the movie. It's the same that this fucking me saying that should not be in the fucking this.
There you go. Look at Paul.
Well, there was some people like, yes, exactly. Like, take that shit out of there. Like, we don't need that.
She needed a distraction.
They could have watched the cartoon. Like,
Come on, it's a party. They're not gonna watch cartoons at a party.
I
There's
mean,
drugs and alcohol involved.
you
The
see,
three
I think-
things that James Cunningham said that teenagers will fall in temptation: drugs, alcohol, premarital sex.
All right, and we having the Jesus character who does all 3 of them.
Exactly. He got tempted by the devil.
The Antichrist.
Yep. There you
Right?
go.
At least he did not do some other stuff with the fucking Antichrist. Anyway, that would have been a different movie. Would not premiere on Netflix. So yeah, like there's a lot of stuff in this movie which does not fucking make sense, and it's yeah. Anyway, it did not happen because he goes back and all of that is being erased. So everything I just said or everything was done in the movie does not matter because time traveling exists in here, and you go back and you erase everything that happened afterwards.
Fair enough.
And that's how time traveling works. Fucking Colin Robbins.
Fucking Colin Robinson. Final thoughts on this movie, bro.
I mean, you gotta watch it twice at least, or don't watch it at all. Like if you don't want to watch this movie, don't watch it. If you want to watch it, be prepared to watch it multiple times in order to maybe answer some questions or maybe to kind of get deeper understanding what they were trying to say. But everybody fucking dies alone. Just be prepared for that sad ass line.
You are born alone, you died alone.
I mean, yeah. And speaking of scenes which made sense, the scene where he tells about his dog going underneath the house.
Yeah.
to die, and when she says the dog climbed under the house to die, right? And he's like, no, he climbed under the house to be alone.
Yeah, no, I do remember that scene. Yeah,
That scene breaks my heart. That scene needed to be in the movie. That scene
I do remember that.
is fantastic. So final thoughts is it's an exceptional movie. I'm glad it was made. I'm glad that nobody interfered in making it, because now in a raw material we can talk about it. We can discuss what we like and we dislike, and we can be outraged about the scenes, or we can be pleased with the scenes, and that's what makes the cinematography or cinema so great to me, is that we still have those gems. We still don't have to go and see the fucking 10 Rings and be like, oh yeah, this is nicely packaged piece of shit that they want me to like, and I like it. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody who's still here. Thank you for tolerating.
You still got people. They're actually listening despite some of your comments. So yeah, they're still there.
I mean, Mike, bro, if you never.
They're already prepared. I'm just giving you shit. Yeah. Okay, just relax. Right. Okay,
I am relaxed.
Calm your tits, bro.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking
fire you from the show. You're fired.
Donald Trump said that a lot.
Okay, you're fired.
Enough. You fucking nailed it. That should be a fucking clip. No, don't do it again. Once is enough. Your thoughts. All right, let's go.
My thoughts. My final thoughts.
Bring us home.
What?
Bring us home.
Bring us home. Oh, gotcha. It's a great movie. Like you said, it's out there. Be prepared. If you watch it for the first time, you will probably end up watching it again at some point to just take a different look. Maybe after listening to us or The Russian, you'll just have that one thought and you'll get it the first time. Good luck. Godspeed, because most likely we won't. It's a cult classic. We all know now why. Great acting. It's a story. I don't want to say it's a great story, but it's a story that grabs you and makes you think. And you definitely should at least try to put it on your list and one day sit down what the hell, let me hit play. Because that's pretty much how I came across it years ago. I heard a lot of people talking about it, so I was like, what the hell, let me hit play. And I do remember I saw it the first time and I was like, what the hell did I watch? And then I watched it again this past few days, right, to get ready for the show, and I was like, okay, I understand it a little better. But I'm still confused. Right. So definitely check it out. It's worth watching. So just look it up. It's available to rent or buy any digital platform. Donnie Darko. Watch the original version, and if you're off for it, watch the director's cut. There's a couple of things that are different. They do put more emphasis on the time travel part in the director's cut. So yeah, just give it a shot, and I guarantee you'll have the thoughts of your own for it.
Yeah, and just like you said, I think that the tagline for our podcast should be just press play.
Just press play. There you go. Yeah.
Just press play. Thank you everybody for being with us. Thank you for everybody who still survived this hour.
Yeah, they're still there with us. Yeah.
We hope we entertain you. That's what we do. We try to entertain ourselves, and we try to entertain you. That's the reason we do this. It's not for fame or glory.
So before we go, ladies and gentlemen, if you still haven't seen our last week episode, we did Moneyball. Really, really good episode. If you're a sports fan, if you're not a sports fan, give it a shot. Listen to us. And next week, movie, we're going to tackle the sci-fi category. I picked this movie, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So we're going to talk about James Cameron's Aliens, the sequel to Ridley Scott's surprise hit Alien, with Sigourney Weaver, Bill Paxton, Michael Biehn, among other actors. So next we will be discussing the action sci-fi flick Aliens. Why is it considered, in my opinion, better than the original first one? And I'm excited to share with you guys how this movie came to be made.
That was his. I do not share that opinion. Yeah.
That's why I said my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share with you guys the history of how this movie became made, because James Cameron went through a lot to get this movie done. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. MovieByte Podcast. Thank you for everybody that's currently subscribed. Thank you for everybody that's been checking our videos. Leave us likes, comments, dislikes. Just tell us how can we improve. Tell us if you like the show. Tell us if you hate the show. We'll take it. All right.
As many dislikes as I can get on this one, boys.
But thank you so much. And we'll see you all next week. All right. Sweet dreams, everybody. Don't let Donnie Darko bite you. All right. Peace out.